Put This On? Season 8, episode 43, where we watch Humans versus Hamsters, season 1, episode 1. And this seems like a Y equals MX plus B like situation. I'm Chris Lorenz.
We're going to show that these scrubs I'm wearing are the only ones here. This is Noah Singer.
John, you gotta win this one for us. For humans. This is Max.
Those were all quotes from this week's show. But last week we watched Harry Potter Wizards of Baking, and you guys voted it a top third show.
You guys are wrong.
That's our audience, Max. Come on.
I call them like I see them.
Tell us what you thought about this week's show on at Who Put This On.
Yep.
Noah, what was that show?
In this interspecies competition series, humans and hamsters square off in epic battles of skill, strength, and agility for cash prizes. That is Human versus Hamster on Max.
Thank you, Noah. It's a very interesting show.
It's incredible.
I saw a tweet that's like, this is the most 30 Rock show I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So, all right, paint a picture here. They set up an obstacle course for humans. Then they shrunk it down to hamster level. And then they set them all go off at the quote unquote same time. And if the hamster makes it there first, the humans lose. And if the humans make it there first, they win $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, except for the trivia rounds.
Well, we'll get into all the minutia of it all. But the one thing I have to talk about, the first thing that's burning in my soul that we have to talk about is that they show side-by-side shots, human versus hamster. But you never see the hamster and human at the same time.
Never. For all we know, the hamster could be in Des Moines, Iowa.
Like, this is what really troubles me about the show is like, I'm constantly thinking, is this real? And like, I have to imagine the hamster shots are just like B-roll shots that they all like put together to make up this narrative. But
the internet quarter is already going to deliver, Chris.
But I think that the races have to be real because it's money is on the line unless you're automatically going to pay them $1,000.
Yep.
Or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how it would work. But
so here's what's up. There's a Reddit thread on this on our hamsters, obviously. And one of the Redditors said, as a vegan who was a contestant on the show, I can confirm the hamsters were treated great. Everything with the hamsters was filmed separately in a much calmer environment.
Okay.
Editing makes it look otherwise.
But then what are they competing against? Like the time of the hamster?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they pre-record the hamster stuff like a week before, then they just splice in the side by side. But also, we also have to talk about the hamster stuff. Has to be like 10 different takes that they slice together, right?
Oh yeah.
There's no way they train.
It's incredible.
There's no way they've trained hamsters to push a car up a spiral and ride an elevator and then do it all over again, all in one go.
I mean, that's the most incredible thing about this show. These hamsters seemingly are like kindergarten educated, like kindergarten level educated. Like they're like very talented hamsters.
Like if we put your toddler in this thing, there's no way they're getting anywhere near this.
No way.
Like level of completion of obstacle courses.
Right. Like these aren't linear paths. Like some of them you have to like repeat the exercise, which is like very hard to comprehend. Yeah, unclear how that was done, but very impressive.
It's unclear, like this. The premise of the show was kind of silly, and like I love how they play it. It's so real, but then it looks kind of so fake. Like it's got a weird tone to it.
Deeply odd tone. They don't quite know what they're working with here, I feel.
Really? I don't know.
I think some people do and some people don't.
Some people do and some people don't.
Like the teachers in the show. The teachers in the show know exactly what show they're on. Like they're like, we're doing it for the race. They're like their video where they came in and like they were doing sprints across the hall and doing pull-ups in the gym and like all about like humans versus hamsters. They got the dad jokes. They know what show they're on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the hosts kind of know what show they're on because sometimes they make some really fun jokes that are like on par or for what kind of tone we want. But sometimes they're like, one quote was like, you're on a show about hamsters, right? Like that was literally a direct quote. I'm like, you're ruining the tone, lady. Like this is supposed to be like the Olympics. And we're supposed to all be tongue in cheek about how all this is real. And if you break that reality, like it just doesn't work.
I feel a little differently about this show in the sense that like, I think they're taking the silly nature of it very seriously, which is a little different than not knowing what you're in. I think they know exactly what they're in. It's just like,
no, it says some people.
No, it's more like it's a goofy thing, and I don't know, they weren't funny enough. And I say this as a fan of the hosts.
I mean, it was her shtick. It's very much her shtick, right? It's like her zany.
Her name is Sarah Sherman, right? Is that her?
Yes. Yeah. AKA Sarah Squirm. I've seen her do comedy.
One thing I think that would really sell the show to me is just a CG shot of the hamster and the human competing at the same time. Like just one. I don't need a lot. Ooh. I just need one.
Kind of like a ghost mode in Mario Kart.
Yeah, like I just need like a shot of the mini set and then the real set with the hamster and the human on them at the same time. So I can like in my head I can have that believability that they're actually doing this. And it can be done. I'm sure it's not that expensive. I mean, it's more expensive than they probably spent on the whole show, but I think that would really sell the show to me.
I don't know. Like there is that aura of like, we're finding it so hard to understand how they did it. Like, I think they actually executed quite well. And my guess, they go to great lengths to like uphold the integrity of the competition. Right. Because otherwise, like, the contestants, like they'd have some liability there. The contestants suing. Right. So like the lawyers, they're going to make sure it's probably above bar.
Max, what if this show never showed the hamsters racing and they just pretended like the hamsters were racing? Would that have been a better show? It's more like tongue in cheek of like, oh, the hamsters doing this. No. Oh no.
Chris, you're talking to the wrong guy. The hamsters are the best part of the show. You're like, Chris, what? Or you're like, Max, what if they didn't show the best part of the show? What am I supposed to say?
The hamsters were not the best part of the show.
Really?
The teachers are the best part of the show for sure.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, I think without the hamsters, you don't got a show. I think without the teachers, you still got a show.
As I just said, would the show be better if there were no hamsters?
Yeah, no, I don't think.
In my head, I'm already picturing the show without hamsters.
It's a different show, right? Like, I think the hamsters make it because you're so mesmerized how the hamsters do so well. They crush it. They're amazing.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe it in any way, shape, or form. I don't understand. I don't know how they have hamsters. So the second challenge, they push a car up a thing. I can believe that, and I can believe that they push the car up the thing and then they fall down an elevator. I can believe that. What I don't understand is like you're clearly guided. There's clearly some treats involved in this whole thing.
Oh,
and they're
absolutely.
not showing any treats. And there's no way like that. Like I just don't believe this hamster bit at all.
I mean, I'm sure they've been trained on these exact courses many times before with treats. I'm sure there are treats in the shots that we're seeing. They're just not showing us them eating them.
Even if there are treats, it's like, so for example, in the first competition, to bring the audience along, the hamster has to like go on his like zigzag pattern. It also has some like vertical in it and like some ledges. And the hamster navigates it very well. And it's basically a free form course. It's not like you have to stay between these walls. And somehow the hamster navigates this free form course. It is unclear how you use treats. Like the hamster would just take the like most efficient path to the treat, but it does not.
See, this is where your mind is like, these hamsters are amazing. And in my head, these hamsters, like this is all a lie. Like these hamsters are clearly not doing this as I'm seeing them.
Which is like fair.
Like, so that's where the enjoyment of this show really is defined. It's like, can you enjoy a hamster doing an obstacle course and believe the hamster is doing the obstacle course?
Yeah. I feel like you have to watch another episode and then like really analyze the edits to be like, okay, how are they putting this together? Because I definitely wasn't watching it.
I don't think you need to do that. I think it's fine. Just let your imagination be what it is. I think you're going to get a lot more enjoyment out of the show if you just let the hamster be. The hamster's doing what it's doing, and you're watching real hamster. And like to Max's point, they've trained the hamster many, many times. These are trainable hamsters. They do obstacle courses for a living. And, and this is just, how they're becoming professional. Before they were just amateurs. Now they're professionals.
Right.
Well, speaking of the first challenge, it was called Locked Out.
Locked Out. Yeah. Makes sense.
And Chris did it first against, I think it was Warrior was the hamster's name.
Warrior.
And the humans won the first round. And like my main critique of this obstacle course is the humans and hamster both had to go get a key on the wall of the last room. But there was no real, like the humans and hamsters were in the room first. They just didn't go for the key. So it's like, I don't know. It's a little fishy. And then the humans won both times, I think. Yeah. Shivani was the other person.
Shivani, yeah. The nurses, she's one of the nurses.
And then the second challenge was...
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
The second challenge was Fast and Furious. And they had to push a car up a spiral, as we talked about, and then go down an elevator, and then do it again. And I believe we had Ham that time, and Kevin. Or was Kevin the last time? I don't know. There was a Kevin and Sarah in a limo scene, which was like probably the funniest thing, I think, on the show. I thought it was pretty good. It's a pretty good bit.
Kevin was pretty good. Kevin in general was like the standout hamster because all the hamsters were like they basically presented them like American gladiators for the most part. Like that definitely seemed like what they were borrowing from. And then Kevin is just like the nerd kind of and adorable.
I think we have to talk about these avatars they gave each hamster.
Go ahead.
Like, okay, imagine you're watching a football game and they have to show one of the players on screen. They have kind of this canned image for them, right?
Yeah.
They have these for these hamsters, but they're like 3D CGI, just like Alvin and the Chipmunks looking avatars. Like, oh, he's the nerd. He has glasses. It doesn't really match each hamster in any way. I think they should have given these hamsters like cute little jerseys or something. Just like, I understand the need to discriminate between different ones. I'm not sure this is the right way to do it.
I think this is great. So like you add, this is the type of show I'm expecting and I want to have like ridiculous hamster names. Like if this show is based off of like American Gladiators, like I love that tone. I love that tone for this show. I'm just kind of disappointed in how lame the races are. That's all. That's where you get my energy from.
Okay.
Like I want to believe. I want to have this show. I want it in my brain to enjoy it more. It just not for a second do I think the races are real in any way. And that's the show.
I think they're more real than we give them credit. Like obviously they're not side by side. Like we've already got that. But I do think there's a legitimate like this is the time you need to complete it in. They're not going to pull that off. I don't think.
They're definitely racing against some sort of clock, I think, in the studio with the humans. Like there's definitely like red lights blaring that come out when like they need to be done or not done.
Yeah.
And I think they do like the host has like a bunch of like they say a bunch of things and they get spliced in. So like that's fine. Yeah. I think that works well enough. I'm sure some of them might have been in real time, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So then after Fast and Furious, we had a Battle Royale, which was a human v human, team v team. So we had teachers versus nurses, and they had to get in and out of a human-sized bottle.
Yes.
This was pretty fun. I like this challenge.
Yeah, I found this such a simple challenge. Like, you can do it in like 30 seconds. Like, I guess that's fine. I just wasn't engaged. Maybe I'm just a hater.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Like, I guess like I'm not that familiar with like hamster obstacles that much beyond like the wheel and like the tubes, and so I think they gotta get pretty creative, right? Or just like scroll M's for a while. I'm guessing.
What year do you guys think hamsters first showed up in the United States of America?
Ooh.
They were always here.
They are
start the fire.
Any other guesses?
Are you saying they're like the natives?
No, I'm just asking, when was the first hamster seen in the United States of America?
I'll go with 1828.
1938.
Wow. Damn.
World War II ass rodents.
Damn. Like, did they come home from somewhere?
They originate from Syria.
And so they got brought over after World War II. Like, someone's like, man, these pets seem great.
1938 is before World War II.
Ah, that's a good point.
Depends on when you define the start of World War II. Just saying. China was in Japan and China were at war since 1933. Just saying.
Okay, Dan Carlin.
I would love the comparison to Dan Carlin. Okay, I'm gonna start my one-man podcast.
Have I just muted myself and Googled hardcore history to remind myself what his name was? Maybe
might have done it, but I mean, yeah. But the fact that like I'm assuming America's not really fighting in the Middle East at that point, you know, or any part meaningfully in the war.
No, just like they weren't even domesticated until about that time.
Damn.
So, considering they've only been domesticated for 100 years, look how far they've come.
They've come very far.
They're so advanced. They can
have
push
starring
cars.
in their own TV show.
Yeah, they have won us over easily.
So after they did the Battle Royale, which I'm very confused by this. Can you guys help me out here? So each challenge they win $1,000, right? And at the end, whoever wins more challenges gets to do the final challenge, which I guess we're going to talk about. But then they have this questions thing, and they ask a question. On average, hamsters live 18 to 23 months. How old was the oldest in months? And the teachers guessed correctly that it was 54. But they get nothing. They don't get $1,000. They don't get a tick mark for their win or loss. I'm like, what is this bullshit? I was like, how are they tied?
Chris, you go to school for like 16 years and you don't get anything for that. So
yeah, but you're on this reality show. Like it's team v team. They just did a team v team thing. You won $1,000. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I think the bigger problem with this segment was I'm here to see human versus hamster, not human versus human.
Yeah. Again, I think that does take away from it.
I like the human versus human moments more than the human versus hamster moments.
I think that definitely is your biggest critique of the show. We don't need interspecies. Keep it to the humans.
I do. I mean, this next challenge called Roll With It, which was pretty good. Like this one, the like hamster footage felt like way more real to me because it was just like they just like roll a ball down a thing into bowling pins, and whoever scores more wins or whatever. And like the one hamster, just like there's one hamster was supposed to push another hamster in a ball, and like one hamster just didn't do it. Great, cute, fun. Probably didn't happen at the real time, but whatever. It was fun. I liked it.
Like that one was not nauseating to me. When I saw that happen, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't do that." I might have been able to do that in the past, but I can't do that today.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I probably can't.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I can't look at it. I can't look at this. I can't do it.
So then, after the end of this challenge, which was supposed to be the final one, they were tied. Teachers and nurses were tied, so that they had a hamster wheel runoff, where they both got it. Each team got a hamster wheel, and then they had to like run in 10 rotations.
I have a complaint about this.
Complaint?
Yeah.
What?
You know me. I love to complain. Okay, so, the two guys start running, and one of them like kind of pushes himself too hard and falls off.
Yeah.
And after that, I feel like the wheel was broken. Like he could not get it started.
Oh, you think that was it?
I don't know. Like I went back and compared like it seems like he might have had a much easier time getting it started the first time.
Interesting.
So
I don't
stop the steal,
Too soon. # too soon.
Yeah. It could be. I'm now like thinking back to it. It definitely seemed like there was like the momentum was hard. Could be, but either way, the guy he was facing off against, I forgot his name. He was pretty athletic, which they made a point about on the show, which was probably the best joke of the show. Segueing into the next competition.
Yeah, so then they did this Ninja Hamster Warriors, what I wrote down. I don't remember the name of the exact thing, but it's like 10 like obstacles, and it's just a longer version of everything we've already seen. And if you win, if the humans win, they get $5,000 and a Champster water bottle.
Yeah, the Champster trophy. What a good name. The Champster.
And right before the challenge, they've chosen Chris to run the challenge, which if you were looking at the two contestants, the other contestant was doing much better, much more in shape. And the host came over and was like, you guys should probably switch, in a very humorous way.
Yeah. Well, his literal comment was like, this is like Andy Reid benching Mahomes. What are you guys doing? It was very good. Yeah, we didn't talk about him. The host, his name's Kyle Brandt. He kind of looks like a discount Colin Jost, a little more jacked. But he does a good job.
And then the Hamsters won because this like mini they made the mini like course pretty, I don't know, like pretty easier, I think, than the big course, but it's hard to tell.
I think it was definitely more adept for a hamster. To your point, like easier, I don't know, but like it was just easier for the hamster to do some of the things. That's also assuming the hamster has the same level of human intelligence on how to go through this thing, like, which is the nutso.
And Shadow was the hamster that went through this.
Yeah. Shadow had a good game. Shadow did very good.
I like Ham. Ham was my favorite.
Ham was my favorite as well.
Ham was, they called the Ham Stars, or like they said, Ham is ready to sniff out the competition. You know,
that felt very Space Jam coded, perhaps.
Yeah.
Monstars.
Monstars. Yeah. Yep.
One thing we also didn't talk about, which is Brian Balthazar, which is like the weather guy on the news, where they keep cutting to the weather guy and like giving you fun hamster facts, which we're always in favor of. Like, give us some facts on a show.
Yeah.
So this, all the way, more this.
Yeah.
Please.
It's a very well done show. It is zany. Like, yeah, it's very thoughtful. Can't knock it.
I looked it up. Balthazar, his title on the show is Resident Hamster Enthusiast.
What a great title.
Good title.
Man, I'm going to look him up on LinkedIn. I hope he has that going on there.
All right. Do we have a worse human being in this?
I don't think so.
The show creator, perhaps?
Is this the apex for our host, Sarah Sherman?
She's on SNL, so probably not.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that too. Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Let's do some drinking rules.
Oh, drinking.
And you should definitely bet on the humans or the hamster, or bet on the human. Pick a team in the human v human, and bet drinks and give out drinks and take those drinks if you win or lose. Assuming you're watching this with other people. If you're not watching with other people, then just drink. Max.
Every time the hamsters win, you have to go out and purchase like one of those hamster water bottles where it has a little like metal thing sticking out of the bottom, and you have to take a shot of whiskey via that thing.
So how many of these water bottles are you going to have around?
Oh, every time they win, you have to buy a new one.
Single use item.
Yeah.
Noah?
So I'm getting a little distracted because I found Brian Balthazar on LinkedIn. One, he's like a legit corporate executive, which is kind of interesting. Like he does like head of programming at Discovery, like was his background. Like fascinating. Like that he's not like purely an entertainer. He's like also like a corporate executive. But he lists himself as a co-host on this show. On his
I don't know about. I mean, I guess, but
look, you are an executive at Discovery. You've always wanted to be on TV. You get this opportunity, sure, you're a co-host.
Well, see, that's not terribly clear. Like, I think he's done other things. Like, I don't think this is like his one time. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting background. Like, he was a vice president at AOL. like,
wow, dude's really failing upwards.
Yeah, well, it seemed like he was at AOL. No, it was 2013. It's not good.
Yeah, no. AOL has not been relevant
No, yeah, no, because like he graduated in 1993, and I was like, oh, there's a chance. He could have like worked there when it was like legit, right? But nah. Anyway, so
I want to talk about AOL
a
for a quick second. Have you guys ever searched AOL Digital Profit? If not,
like
I highly
profit,
recommend.
like Jesus, or
yeah. There's this guy named Shingy
who
was paid by AOL.
Yeah, I know Shingy.
All right, and his title was Digital Profit.
Is he still alive? Shingy?
He's alive. He no longer works for AOL. Nothing has been heard of him since he quit. Really,
I mean, he got paid bank to like spew bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when he was like really riding high, because that's when I was like getting into digital advertising. He was like the hotness, like at the time, like, which was like, who is this guy?
And for the fact that he worked for AOL wasn't a red flag.
So he didn't. I don't think it was initially that. Like somehow he got out of that, and he started hitting the circuits and created this like name for himself. But then like from people that I never met him, but I was like close enough in the industry. Basically, what I gathered was his role was more of like sales, bringing him in to like, hey, we're gonna go meet the CMO of X company, and they want to know like what's the future of technology before tech was everything, and so they would bring him in, right? And then basically he parlayed that to be just like this guy who's just like a horse and pony show, whatever, to talk about tech.
Okay, all right, we're done. I promise you. Everyone's zoned out. Come back.
So,
come back. No, not allowed to talk about it. Not allowed to talk about it.
You're zoned out. This is in your business.
There's a fun hamster fact.
Get back on that hamster little water bottle thing.
No, you're taking a drink every time you get a fun hamster fact.
Every time. But you got to give out to Max's point. You got to buy one of the hamster things.
We already did that. We're moving on. What speed do you think Max watched this show at, Noah?
This is a 1.25. There's too many good stuff in it to go too fast. Like you got to like keep it tight.
The way he talks about the show, I feel like he watched it at 1. Max, what do you got for us?
1.
Ooh, Chris, on the money.
I'm guessing you didn't have the ability to do it. Is really what I'm...
Correct, and also I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I
didn't realize you only did that for shows you don't like. I thought it was just
I feel like this, I could have watched it maybe 1.2, 1.3.
Would this show be better as a Quibi or TikTok?
Absolutely, it'd be better as a TikTok that is just the good segments, which is the bowling and the obstacle courses.
I agree. I feel like this would be a good TikTok.
I
would love for you to go up to people in Times Square and be like, for $1,000, can you beat this hamster? And they take him to the stage and like, that's the show I want to watch. This is the impromptu, are you ready to beat a hamster?
You want the man on the street aspect.
Yeah, that would be great.
I will say, completely independently of the show, am I subscribed to a TikTok where somebody sets up insane obstacle courses for his hamster? Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm not surprised that's a thing. All right, so we do a rating system. We do a stack ranking system between top, middle, and bottom third. Max, what do you got for me?
Middle third. Middle of the middle. It was in a sea of garbage. This one I didn't hate.
Noah, what do you got for me?
Wow. This was a very well done show. I think, like, the best way I'll put it, like as I said prior, the show is silly. They take it very seriously to be silly, and I think they execute extremely well on like a zany topic. This is like a home run show. It is. I'd recommend it to anyone. It is a top show. It's middle of the top. I don't think this is like in the rarefied air of top of the top because like it's not like that. I think you need something more bingey. This is not bingey. This is more of like peanut and pickle or pickle and peanut territory where it's like you only watch so much at one sitting, then you got to take a pause.
Why are you acting like pickle and peanut is a thing?
It is to Noah.
It is to me. That I think that's the best. Yeah. I do not expect many people to get the reference. I don't expect many people it to be a thing for, but it's definitely something that you cannot watch too many of it in a row because it's just like too extreme. It's too much.
All right. I struggle with the show because I want the show to be so good, but it's just not. And it could be the pilot, but I can't imagine this is the pilot. I'm going to go middle third.
This is the pilot.
I mean, look, you filmed a pilot. Doesn't mean that's the first show you show people. When it really
True.
Okay.
Sometimes in the streaming era, they don't even do pilots. So, like, I don't know. So
it
could be some factor that it could get better.
The pilot's not the first one they decide to show. The pilot's the first one they actually taped.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Like, the pilot is like, give us some money, give people some money, and like they'll film an episode to see if they should keep making more. Sometimes you see the episode, sometimes you don't see the episode. We don't really talk about pilots in reality TV, so I don't know how much that's a thing.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know. Anyway, I think it has potential if they get their tone inaccuracies down, and I don't know. If they give me that CG shot, it'd be top of the top. That's just one shot. That's all I'm asking for. But they won't do it. Anyway, that's it. What we think of this show. Tell us what you think of the show on Twitter at Who Put This On. And next week, we don't know what we're watching. So tell us what we should watch. Like, I don't even have any ideas right now.
Are there any other human verses out there?
There's human versus shark.
There's human versus food, but it's specifically a man.
We need more interspecies.
Have we done man v food?
I'm sure we have.
I don't know if we have.
Know. The Adam Richman show, right?
Well, I
don't know his name. He's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do that. We could also find some Christmas episodes of something. Also, now that we have this, we are going to be approaching the end of the season, the end of this month. So, got to start thinking what your top and bottom fives are. You two.
Yeah. So, this is Adam Richman. Fun fact.
You're wrong. That's man finds food. I'm talking about man versus food.
Yeah, man versus food. I'm on.
Okay.
Don't judge the internet corner person.
Okay.
Fun fact: for a very brief time, I was roommates with his girlfriend.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I guess roommate. Like,
Did you ever find a sock on the door?
No. Or I think it was his ex-girlfriend. Maybe I forget. It was
That's cool.
That's Noah. That's your shout out this week. You have any shout outs, Noah?
Yes. I think I shouted out last week. Very bingy. The Jackal on Peacock. I was upset. They're dropping it weekly, and I just got caught up very late in the drops. So 7 episodes out. I'm assuming there's 10. I really have no idea how many, but quite a fun show to watch on the Peacock.
Max, what do you got for us? You got any shout outs?
Shout out to the upcoming 5th installment in the Stormlight Archive.
Ooh, Friday. I don't know when this pod's
is a video game.
Out. It's a book.
Book series.
Max and I will both be on the Let's Read This as Fast as Possible train.
I kind of just started a book like 2 days ago, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish it in time. I don't know. We'll see.
You got to take a break. I feel like this could
Mayhaps.
it could be a Harry Potter book situation.
You Snape kills Dumbledore, you bitch type situation.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be a spoiler. How deep it is out in the world, who knows?
How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean?
I don't get the reference.
How deep is your love?
Okay, all right. I'm gonna shout out Heretic, which is a movie out in theaters. It's really good. It's about two missionaries that go to this guy's house. They're specifically Mormon missionaries, and it's a good movie about what is your faith and what does faith mean and what is religion. And I think it was a pretty good thriller. I had a pretty good time, so I'm gonna shout that out. I rated 3.5 out of 5. So it's good, but it's not amazing. Depends how much that premise and those kind of thoughts bring to you. And that's it for us this week. Reach out to us on Twitter at whoputthison. You can find us on facebook.com/whoputthison. You can email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace up, Hamster Town down.